How are you?
I'm okay. I'm
Good.
a little bit tired, but it's because I was working a 9-hour shift on the bank holiday,
Ooh.
which was an uber beast.
You didn't get to bunk the bank.
Excuse me? No,
Bunk.
I didn't.
It's a bunk holiday.
No, not for a retailer.
Oh,
Um, so yeah, but it's nice to have a day off afterwards. But it's not normally my day off, so I'm a little bit thrown.
are you a bit out of the whack? You're like, this isn't Monday.
No, it's kind of nice. Oh, for crying out loud, PlayStation Network is down again.
Hello again, everybody. This is the Polynauts Soulcast, episode 11. I nearly said 10. 11.
Is it 11 already?
It's 11 already, yeah, with double ones. My name is Paddy. I am from the Polygon forums and doing stuff on there. What is your name, friend?
My name is CJ, and I try to frequent the Polynaut forums when I'm not desperately tired from work and monkeying about with a different brand new games console.
New toys!
Yes, beautiful, beautiful thing that it is.
Have you been having fun?
Well, I've kind of been trying to.
Anyway, you know what? Again, we've done it again.
No.
We've
We
talked
have-
about Dark Souls on this Dark Souls podcast once more.
The weird thing is that the last time that we did the podcast, we then went to Dark Souls and played a lot of Dark Souls, and I think wasn't it about 5 hours in total that we were nattering about this?
So long. We talked for hours that night, even though it took us an hour to meet up in the game. Do you remember? Yeah.
It take a while. I've just been on the game and I've seen the issues that you mentioned with regards to not being able to see soul signs and all that kind of stuff. So
They're not great, are they? I know. Apparently, you can fix that by logging off completely, like offline the PSN.
okay.
Apparently, it fixes it, but then you can't do any of the cool like bro up or see the signs on the floor, which is it's a trade off, but the game will work.
So do you know what's happened?
Software update.
I haven't been on the thread.
I believe that it happened when the new content came out. It was happening in the new content. This is what I've gathered from Saberswinger from the forums. He's been talking about it quite a bit. It happened in the new content, and then they patched it, and then the PSN updated, like the firmware updated about a few days ago, and it broke it again.
Fantastic.
Which is just great. It made a couple of my forays a bit troubling. But yeah, this week in Dark Souls, we went to the new content, didn't we?
We did, and we had a veritable whale of a time. But on the last one, did you mention that you'd been having a pop at Arturus, or was that?
We hadn't got there yet. Last time was Seath and the Crystal Caves, I believe. So we hadn't even begun to fight at that point. We went to the new content, which took a little while of working out how to get to the new content.
It is my favourite part of the game, though. It's just glorious, and it throws you such a loop. And you clicked on earlier that Royal Wood is indeed sort of a variation on what we'd seen in the forest.
Upon seeing that the bridge that you in the normal game when you walk across to fight Sif, you kind of start and it's like I'm on the other side of this bridge and it's really obvious that's where I am, and I immediately recognised it. I was like, oh, we're here! And then the geography didn't quite match in places. Like the two buildings where Alvina lives are kind of way further apart now.
Yeah.
But let's put that down to tectonic plates. I don't know.
I think that there's a lot that's shifted within the timeline, and it's the game sort of mentioned before that times are sort of colliding and pulling apart. But I think it's not difficult to put two and two together where things are, and even in the main game that the Undead Burg is built upon Ulasil.
Yeah. Okay. So step one, entering the world. entering Ulasil. You do the rigmarole of going to where the Hydra was and freeing Dusk of Ulasil, and you kind of you find the Black Fog. I laughed when I got taken to the future, past.
Yeah.
I was expecting like a time rift or something where you could walk through, or like a Stargate maybe, possibly Terminator, where you turn up, all kind of electric and naked. What I wasn't expecting was a giant abscessy octopus hand to come out of the floor, grab me, slap me on the floor a couple of times, and then, right, taking this, and vanish. Like, that hand did not cock about.
You're mine.
Yeah, because like you'd expect it to pick you up and kind of sling you about a bit before it literally picks you up, smacks you on the floor once, and takes you.
Wait till you meet the person that owns the hand.
I'm so scared. I really don't.
Seriously, be incredibly scared. It's a boss battle that terrifies me.
Yay! Oh.
Seriously. I'm not sort of. I'm not buffing this up for the sake of it. It's a tough battle.
Great.
And it's very, very scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, we wandered into Ulasil, and you saw the gardeners with their initially with their rakes, and I do like the fact that they'll fall over occasionally, and they're quite sort of clumsy.
I love them.
And then you get the variations with the shears, which are just horrible.
They're nasty. They remind me a lot of the default kind of the bog standard hollow guys when they do their kind of spazzy stab where they go and then get a bit knackered. Because if you cock up the parry, or if you miss that really hurts.
Yeah, I mean they'll if they get near you, they will hammer into a shield. Absolutely hammer into it, and you can just watch your stamina drift away at that point.
Yeah.
But it's interesting as well that they move in a not dissimilar way to the shrubs in the main game. So there they are tending the trees and the shrubs, and that's clearly what they evolve into.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if the general evolution is down to Seath, and is down to his general sort of monkeying about and experimentations. Because on the Bonfire Side chat that I listened to this morning, they mentioned that the channeler from the Duke's Archives is one of Seath's men, but he's in the depths. So, and even though they didn't mention it on that podcast, I'm wondering if he had experimented, or this agent of Seath had experimented on the gaping dragon that was there.
There's one of those in the parish as well, isn't there? Hiding up the top in the place with all the little guys.
Is there?
Yeah. When you come in the parish, and he's the guy that hides.
There is indeed. Yeah.
When you fight Biggin at the end, and you get a soul arrow up the arse.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be more of them.
So this it just shows how far-reaching Seath's experimentations and plans were, and maybe he's there to take eventually to take the Hellkite dragon, the one that's wandering the bridge, because it's not very far from there at all.
It's very close, actually.
And with Seath turning on his own kind and such like, you've got to say But we had a wander through there, and you met the new versions of the Stone Knights.
Oh, they are gits.
They're awesome, aren't they?
They are gits. They run at you, they smack, and then when you think they've done an attack, they do the earthquake boom.
But they've got that golf swing as well, whereby if you think that you're limited, or their attacks are limited to just the front swipe that the Stone Knights had done in the forest.
So if you try and get too clever,
they'll do that golf swing right the way around and hammer into you. And that, if you can get them into the animation of the, it's not so bad for attacking from behind. But if you get caught in that, you're in trubs, because they will hammer. They almost look eager when they walk forward with the massive club and get ready to pile you into the ground.
I'm gonna polish my club with your face.
Yeah.
Before we get too far ahead, Sanctuary Guardian as well. Like,
oh yeah,
which is otherwise known as Welcome to Ulasil, motherfucker.
Just instantly,
the
isn't
very
it?
first thing you meet is this white lion chimera thing. Jesus. Full of lightning and vim and vigor.
The winged snaky chihuahua of death.
Oh Christ, that was a tricky fight as well, wasn't it?
It was, because you
took us a couple of goes, I think.
First time, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I think it took us 1 or 2 goes.
Yeah.
So I remember running out to get my bloodstain. So I must have died at least once.
But you arrive at that bonfire as you've just been pulled into the world, and then literally you've got a fog gate straight away. And I had
up a warning sign.
I had one of my games that because that little run up from the bonfire into the winged snaky chihuahua, you can be invaded. And there was one person that kept invading on that run through.
Oh.
You've got nowhere to go, and if
it's basically a bonfire in a corridor, isn't it? There's no distance at all. That's horrible.
And I think when they were invading, they were blocking me getting to the fog gate as well. So it was essentially this long corridor where I was treated something incredibly powerful. And to the credit, I think they bowed, but they knew what they were doing. But I've not seen anybody other than that person invading that area, and it's quite a clever place to invade, because I think people genuinely think that because there's a bonfire there that you're not going to be able to invade. But
nope. You forgot what game you were playing.
We had a fair few after the Sanctuary Guardian, didn't we?
Yeah, it was the same person, I think, that invaded us at least 3 or 4 times.
It was, but at that point, it's you're trying to make your way around, but otherwise it's like run.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was the worst part, because it's not a short trip through the wood. It's a fairly, I mean, it's a quick trip when you know where the best place to run is. When you hug the edge to get around it with minimal contact, but it's still
you want to pick up the items, don't you? And
you want to get the stuff.
You want to have a wonder.
Yeah, and then you end up dropping your bloodstain with so many thousand souls in the middle of the nightmare area, and then while getting them back, you get invaded again. Because I was human for quite a lot of that, because we were obviously bro-upping. Over the course of our time that night, I think I burned through at least 10 or 15 humanity. I got through a lot of it. Thanks in no part to our Mr. Boss friend.
I think we're jumping the gun a little bit here.
Yeah.
Before we get to Artorias, there was as we're wandering through that little patch of forest. Don't forget that second bridge, my friend.
Oh, the second bridge. We are getting ahead of ourselves, aren't we?
Because I remember when we were on that, you jumped back and you went, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
When Calamite turned up.
Yeah, they do the same trick they do in the Undead Burg, where you're going along and then lol dragon, and he just lands on the bridge, looks at you and goes, "Yeah, you'll keep." Flies away.
Yeah.
I cacked it, and I since after that I saw I was bro-upping, I was helping out some other people. And the first guy, the human in the world that I was in, ran up and started belting it one. I was like, "You star!"
Seriously,
because that's got to be the first. Because it only happens the first time, doesn't it? He doesn't burn the bridge again, so it must be. And he's like, "You man."
It's moments like that where I really should be keyed into doing the "well, what is it" gesture.
Yeah.
Because that would have been wonderful at that point.
Or just point at him and go.
If he lands on the bridge and then sort of like, and I do the, "well, what is it" gesture, and he just looks, he's like, "Oh, yeah, fair enough." That would be brilliant.
Or stand on next to the bridge and point away to the left, and then watch him fly away. Like, yeah, you run. You run, I tell you.
It's a suggestion.
Or get the vocal jump. Hello.
But we had that awesome moment where I think were we bro-upping with other people at that point, or did we bringing somebody into our game?
Yeah.
And instead of doing the bow gesture, we did a synchronized point at the other player. And it was like a 1, 2, 3, and then we like pointed in sync, and he just like, "Very good." It was comedy gold.
That made my evening. That really did. It's nice to know that someone saw it and got it. It's like, yes.
But it still shows you again that there's such a lot that's still new, and he's still cracking off with the game. And
yeah.
You were quite impressed by the vocal chimes as well, weren't you?
I love the vocals. I found my first one later on, and I messed around with it quite a bit. Very good is the one I found.
Yeah,
and it's permanently in my inventory now for no reason other than it's funny.
But when they were first mooted, I mean, when I didn't know about them when I started playing the Prepare to Die edition, and somebody in the Undead Burger got one.
Wow!
And I was like, yeah, I'm always quite skeptical about that sort of thing. And somebody did like an "I'm sorry," and I was like, what was that? Terrified.
Do you think they were low level broing it, or do you think they'd given it to themselves with a?
I don't know if somebody had dropped it for them in another game or what it was, but at that point I wasn't expecting them.
Yeah.
And had no correlation that this was actually part of the game, and I was like,
"What's happening?
What's just been said out my telly?
It's changed."
Yeah.
Everything that was good is bad.
But,
that was great meeting the dragon. Fighting the knights was fun. Just generally trolleying through. The forest is a nice place to run through. If you've got a handle on the dudes, it's all right. And kudos to the bunny stick as well.
Oh no, I think you were using the Quelag sword, and it was making toast of most of it.
Yeah. Between the two of us, we had a great combo of stuff there. Because your bunny stick was doing great on the knights, and my Quelag sword was just ripping the forest guys to pieces.
Yeah.
Because of the beastly flame damage, like boom, boom, 2 hits dead.
Yeah, you were hammering into those tree dudes.
They remain the easiest part of that whole place, just because you can just wait, whoosh, whoosh, dead.
So obviously I've bigged up Artorias in rather a huge way over the last number of months.
Yes, you have.
Run through your thoughts with Artorias.
Right, so we approach which I call it Rome because it looks like a Colosseum. So we approach Rome. And it's like, okay, there's clearly a boss in there. Did you tell me it was Artorias before we went in?
I think you guessed.
I think I might have guessed, yeah. Like, it's, oh, crap. And we hit that fog gate. And it's like, okay, man time. It was just me and you at this point, wasn't it? It was just 2 of us. So we toddled our way in. That opening cutscene was awesome. Like, there's a guy, you think, oh, is this what I've got to fight? This weird kind of, tomato-headed man? And then, okay, this is doable. Of course, I forgot what game we were playing. And then Captain Wacky Stick drops out of the sky and just whacks him into the floor. And what I liked about that animation was he drops and he stabs the tomato-headed guy. And then he's like, did I kill him? I'll just check. And just twists it a little bit. And you can just see that pause of stab and then, I'll just be safe. And gives him another stab just to be safe.
And then flings the corpse at you.
Looks at you and flings the corpse. And I didn't realise until way later, I didn't notice that he was only using one arm. Like, I thought he was just kind of posing in a cool way, like I am the dead man, I am the dead things. I didn't realise his arm was actually useless. His left arm doesn't work. And I've watched that cutscene again a few more times.
I noticed that.
I've watched it. It just hangs limp by his side. It doesn't do anything.
This could tie into stuff.
Yeah, and I was reading a little bit about the lore of it later on, and it's like, because of the Abyss stuff that he did, it made his arms kind of rubbish, which is why his gauntlets aren't very good, because Abyss stuff has kind of fucked them up. It's basically his arms are his right arm's okay, but his left arm's wasted away inside the armor.
You've got to think. I mean, this part of the things that I've noticed with Artorias. I mean, he's been pulled through time by Manus, who's the same person that does that to you, and essentially, you look at the place that he's in. He's been driven mad by this dark magic. He's essentially a savage at this point. And he's, I mean, even the opening cutscene relates to this. They're just throwing things at him. They're just throwing enemies at him constantly, and he can't get beyond the citadel. He's trapped within it.
Yeah.
And the woman he loves, as to whether it's a platonic and unspoken thing, or as to whether it was true love, was trapped beyond the gates. Even Hawkeye Goff, when you do make your way to him, commends you for what you've done for Artorias. Within the fact that, because Goff is trapped in another part of that citadel and is unable to get out. So Manus has taken a number of the people that could stop him and has imprisoned them. And with Artorias, he's been driven into a savage beast by all this dark magic, and possibly by traversing the abyss in itself. But constantly, they're throwing the sort of thistlehead creatures at him, and you can see the amount of blood that's been spilled across that arena.
Oh, there's piles of it.
He can't get beyond it, and that's all that he is. He's channeling aggression and frustration, and some of the reasons that are on the cusp of that you'll find out a little bit later into the level. And I'd say if you have read a bit of Lord, don't read too far.
I've only read little bits. That's all I've read is mainly it was his arm that I was interested in.
Yeah, I hadn't put two and two together.
If you watch the cutscene again either on YouTube or in your browser or something, just watch his left arm. Just watch that it doesn't do anything. It just hangs limp.
Perhaps that's a repercussion of the constant battles that he's had.
I mean, as well, like his weapon is a two-handed greatsword that he wields with one hand.
Yeah.
Because maybe he can't use his other hand anymore. Unless he kind of hooks it underneath and kind of lays it on it, and that wouldn't work.
This does tie into the fact as well that I've mentioned before that the Great Shield of Artorias is truly a great shield. It doesn't lie at all. And in the main game, you make a copy of it, essentially, with Sif's Soul, and it's fantastic against magic, against lightning. It's just a phenomenal shield.
Yeah.
And that he's not holding that because, as you've mentioned, his arm is damaged, is a big deal because he leaves him vulnerable.
Yeah.
And maybe, you've seen the size of the fist that pulled you into the past. Did that break his arm?
That's true. Oh, see, now I'm. Oh Christ! Imagine that fight if he had his shield. Jesus Christ!
Honestly, there's stuff to come with regards to that.
Okay.
Because not to put too fine a point on it, but you make a copy of that shield in the main game in the main timeline. What's happened to Artorias' shield is a big deal. And I am choking up at this.
Well, don't tell me what it is.
I'm not going to tell you, but it's a big deal.
Okay.
And in my eyes, it makes him a true hero. Sorry, I'm really fucking choking up at this.
Aww. Okay, well let's move on from that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the actual fight.
What I'm saying, what I'm wanting to say, sort of in a roundabout way, is that a lot of the story elements are tied together, and they're really, really important. And I just find him a fascinatingly tragic and brave character because he's traversed the abyss to stop something, to try and turn things around, to perhaps not knowing what he's done. I mean, he's gone through the abyss and made a covenant with the Dark Wraiths and with Darkstalker Calf, I think his name is.
Yep.
To do that, and that's sheer bravery, and that the savage that he's become, and that he's trapped in this citadel. As you've mentioned, sort of his arm has been damaged, and he's wielding a two-handed sword with one hand. It's just, I just find it phenomenal. And all I'm saying is there's more to come on that, and it's fantastic.
Cool.
And also something that I've not seen pointed out anywhere else, which I hinted at a few podcasts back.
Will we be getting to that soon?
Yeah, really after the kind of Manus battle, but it's,
okay. That's my next target then. But
well,
yeah,
you've got Calamite next.
Oh, Jerry.
Well, you've taken on Calamite anyway, so
I have by accident. Yeah, I have, and it didn't go well.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, the actual Artorias fight. Fight. Yeah, now this, I must have burned through about 9 humanity just with you. He's a tricky beast. He's fast. It's not that he cheats, because a lot of times when you fight a big boss battle and you lose over and over and over again, it's because of some kind of bullshit area of effect attack or some homing missile kind of crap, or you know what I mean? Like it's cheap attacks. Artorias doesn't have any cheap attacks. He's got a big sword, and he's going to put it in your face.
That triple swing is phenomenal, where it's literally like you're used to enemies sort of throwing something at you, but that literal like bang, jump, bang, jump, bang is just phenomenal. And the first time that it happens, you're like, what? Because you're not expecting 2 and then 3, and especially not with the level of velocity that he swings that sword.
Yeah, it just keeps coming and coming and coming. And our co-op times, we spent a good amount of time on that, didn't we? And it wasn't going great. Like we'd get him down to about half health, I think was the best we did together. But it just soon, like one of his attacks would just catch me, or it would catch you, and it was like, oh, bollocks! And down you go. Back to the bonfire, and it spits you back out, and you try again.
I think it says a lot though about the boss that really, I mean, it's possible to get him on your own but it's a real game of strategy when it's you versus Artorias, because
hard. I mean,
the way that he wanders around that arena like a caged tiger, waiting for the moment to get you. And when you've got 2 or maybe 3 people in there, it's distractions that loses him the fight. Absolutely 100% it's distraction.
Yeah, it's Artorias tennis.
Yeah.
You just take turns having a battle. I mean, when we were co-oping, we were sort of taking turns having a battle once or twice, but every now and again we'd stand too close. It's like, crap, we've made a mistake, and coordination was the issue.
It's getting on opposite sides of him.
Yeah, so and staying on those opposite sides.
Yeah.
After about 9 attempts of failure, he decided to give up for the night. I thought, right, okay, I'm not going to do this tonight. I'm going to try again tomorrow morning. So the next day, I booted up the game. I thought, right, I won't go human because we were getting invaded so much, and I only had about 10 humanity left. I thought, right, I won't go human. At very least, I'll practice while I'm hollow. I can try and learn him a bit and, have a bit of a practice. 10 attempts later, 10 crushing attempts later, where the best I did was about half his health. 10 attempts later, I logged on to talk to our friend Sean and our friend Salias as well from the forum, another Polygon mod. And they were online as well. So I was saying, right, attempt number 20. And I started counting them through. And like, okay, you can do it. I was like, great, okay. And then 2 minutes later, attempt number 21. Attempt number 22. And this took a long time, but I was getting better. And every time I fought him, I was getting a bit better. And he wasn't winning because he was cheap. He was winning because he was good. And as a solo fight, you've really got to think about where he is and what you're going to do next. And if you've got enough time to chug a quick milky drink and heal yourself up. And I ended up, I switched all my gear around. I ended up chucking on, I think it was the Silver Knight's armor. Havel's ring, and basically every part of the Silver Knight's armor except for the hat of Pharrell, because it's the get lucky hat. I thought, right, I've got to stay lucky and keep my hat on. So yeah, it was every bit of the Silver Knight's gear except the hat, and I could still quick roll because I had Havel's ring on as well, along with the ring of favor and protection. So I was just over the boundary of what I could do. It was a good setup, but I was taking a few more hits this time. Mostly pyromancy. I was trying to get up close, take the hit on the shield, and shove fire up his bum with combustion. And that was working. It was working all right. Because I'd started rocking the grass crest shield at the same time, and that gives you more stamina. So my thinking was, take the hit on the shield, drop it, stamina come back, and then have the shield back up by the time that he does his next attack.
Yeah.
And it was kind of working, and I was mixing in that green blossom as well.
Yeah.
Because there was a point in the run where I was running past Magnificent Chester, buying a single green blossom, going to the door, chug the green blossom, go in, die, earn enough to get the green blossom again. Because it was like 1,200 souls, which is kind of it's a big deal in that area, getting that much without pissing off the whole forest. So I was doing that, taking a blossom, going in, dying, taking a blossom, going in, dying. But the stamina was coming back like a rocket, because with the shield and the blossom on, it's like boom, it's back again.
You can farm them in the forest,
the red nasty
in the main game.
Yeah, I was at this part. I was like, nope, I'm doing this now. I'm brute forcing it. I'm having it. So yeah, after about 30 attempts. This is altogether 30 attempts. I was starting to get a bit dejected. I can't fucking do this. And then somehow it clicked. And it was near attempt 31 or 32, it must have been. All of a sudden, I started to do damage. Uh-huh. It wasn't that I hadn't done very well before. It was that I was doing all right and then making a critical error. The triple stab. Or one of his jumping dive attacks. Because midway through the fight, he'll do that charge up maneuver where he'll get stronger and faster and tougher.
Yeah.
And before he does that, he's got a move where he jumps up in the air and kind of batters down on you. And I could roll away from that every time, no problem. When he's powered up, it's slightly faster.
Yeah, he does amp it up, certainly.
It's just fast enough that my timing was off. And it was keep hitting me. And I was getting a bit annoyed. It's like, for God's sake, stupid bastard. So I was I got a bit bummed out by that. Oh, God's sake. So I started learning how to dodge him when he's powered up as well. Because I'd done it so many times by this point, it was starting to kind of sink in and make sense.
Become muscle memory.
Yeah. And actually, while I was playing it as well, a slight aside while I was fighting it, I noticed he's got a couple of moves that Sif uses.
Uh-huh. God, yeah.
Particularly the low stab jump away. The spin round is that. Christ, then. Yeah, and the low stab jump, he jumps back about 30 feet.
The spin round as well.
Yeah. Does Sif have the jumping spin? I've got a feeling that. Yeah. So a couple of the moves.
You know the one that kind of spins round near the floor.
Yeah.
He does that if you get too close and then sort of jumps back. But you know what Sif's holding, don't you?
Exactly.
Hell, I hadn't thought of that at all.
Uses the same moves. It's it was the jump back that I recognised first, because that was the bane of my life when I fought Sif. The jump back.
Even the way that Sif walks around at certain points before coming towards you is artorious.
Stalks you a bit, yeah. So it's almost it's a very similar moveset. Even though one of them is a wolf, which is an achievement, if anything. I mean. So yeah, that's I see this now, because I did it so many times. I couldn't help but notice it. But yeah, attempt number 36, I finally battered him on my own, wearing the hat of pimp. I was so happy because I think the attempt just before it, I got him down to the tiniest sliver of health. I couldn't see it. And he got the final blow. I was out of Estus. It was literally him or me. One shot wins. And he won. And I was, a bit upset. But yeah, I thought, nope. He's beatable. I've proven that I can do it now. Just one more attack is all I had to do. And I beat him. And he did that kind of scream. And the best part about it, it was a double KO. We both died at the same time. And I was just control on the floor. What the hell? Because I think I was at the point where I'd run out of all my close pyromancy and I was lobbing fireballs at him. And he was there, last bit of health. I munted a fireball. He did, I think it might have been one of his regular slashes, like a normal attack, as it were. Yeah. He caught me, the fireball flamed him up, and we both kind of I went, and he went, I was like, what happened? What does that mean? Did I win? And then just as I was kind of fading out, it's like, Soul of Artorias. I was like, I win?
Awesome.
I win? And I woke up back at the bonfire with no souls. I was like, what happened? I don't get it. Ran back to where he was, and a soul patch on the floor with 50 grand. I was like, yes!
Oh, cool.
It was stunning. I could not believe my luck.
Really phenomenal cherry to remember that battle with. And I've mentioned it sort of as a teaser, sort of up to this point, but that scream that Artorias does at the end is just phenomenal.
It's as you say, it's a scream through time.
It's a man screaming through time.
Yeah, I did have to go and fight again. I had to go and help some people to hear it again, and I heard it properly the next time. It's like, oh, okay, that's really cool. Because it was drowned out a bit by the "you died" noise.
Yeah, and you sort of celebrating and confused. Wait, what?
Yeah, but I do. My mouth couldn't make words for a short time.
I think there's something about Artorias with the way that he looks as well. The way that cape is burned and matted into the chainmail is.
It's rotted and old, isn't it? It's
I think it's burned and battered into him. I don't think it's. I think there probably is a little bit of age, but it's certainly been duly hammered into him.
Yeah, and I celebrated by finding the next bonfire, tagging in, warping the hell out of there, and I went to go buy Artorias' armor.
Oh yeah.
From what's his face, Aishin Wei, down at the Firelink, and it's good armor, but I'm not sure if it's better than the silver armor, the silver knight armor.
Yeah, it's pretty though.
It's okay. It's all right, and I think bits of it are good, but it's not quite strong enough for what I would expect at that kind of limit. Like the dingy robe is better.
At what point did you meet Kieran then at Artorias' grave?
That's when I went back for my money.
For
my souls, sorry, when I went back after dying with the double KO, and I met Kieran on the floor, like, oh, he's dead.
I remember having a conversation at this point. I was like, "Did you kill her?" And you went, "No." Okay, that was it. I said, "Oh, yeah." What did you do? Like, I gave her a soul.
Yeah, she's like, "Can I have his soul?" I was like, "Yeah, I think she's on the level."
Yeah.
And yeah, I was like, "No, she's not going to attack. She's not. Here you go, have the soul. Have it. I don't even want to have it." And then she gave me her cool daggers, which are cool. I like them. I've not used them a lot yet, but I've had a quick play with them, and I do like them. But yeah, I met her, and it's cool watching her sitting at this little grave. It's like, that didn't take long.
In one of my games, I kind of I did attack her to get her armor and to see what she does, and I felt very, very bad after it.
Onion bro bad?
No, not particularly, because she's only in that point of the game.
Yeah. Is she not turning up again? Is that the only place she is ever?
No. Well, that's just the only thing. Although, as I understand it, and it's in one of my PS3 playthroughs, I'm going to do this. That if you defeat Artorias before you take on Sif, there's a little something else in the cutscene beforehand.
I've heard, yeah. I might have a go at that.
Yeah.
When I finish the game, I'll go back and try that when I can just bat through it.
Me Reiki.
Yeah, so I got the armor. I experimented a bit with it. It's okay. It's not the best. It looks all right. It makes your ankles look like you're anemic. They're turned into these tiny little metal bars. They're not legs anymore. They're just this tiny sliver of metal. It's like
ankles.
Yeah, cankles. So yeah, I thought I've got the armor. What should I do now? I thought, I'll push on through. I'll have a look at Ulasil, as you do. I'll have a little look in. So I walked back and I sort of toddled on into Ulasil. It was an interesting place. I like it. I like that it's clearly had some problems because half the buildings are kind of slightly at an angle. So you're running kind of half on the side of buildings sometimes, and it's something bad has happened there.
Yeah.
And there's the tomato men all over the place, which are dealable. I can deal with the tomato men, no problem. It was the magic ones that gave me problems.
Yeah, because I think they cob out that magic at such speed and at a point where you don't think they're going to launch it yet.
Yeah, it's like, and I ran into two of them and just got battered.
Literally, as soon as they pull back, it's about 2 seconds, and then you need to roll.
Yeah,
because they bomb it out after that. But it's at a point that you don't expect them to throw it just yet.
Yeah, especially when you meet two of them.
Yeah.
In the darkness, I went off. I think I jumped off a little ledge halfway through to like a lower path, and went into a building. I was like, okay, there's one, I can deal with this. And I walked in to try and fight her, and then a magic bolt hit me up the arse. I was like, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, that dark magic is a swine.
It's terrifying, really bad. And when I was invaded, before we took on Artorias, before getting invaded there, one of the people that was invading was using this dark magic stuff, like the homing soul arrow, I think, when it does the 5 above your head.
I think
like
it's
a dark
called,
version of that. And they were just running up.
I think it's called Dark Bead, it might be.
Okay, but they were just running up, and just all 5 were hitting me, and they were stabbing. It's like, right, one-shot gank. Great.
I think there was a part where we were bro-hopping, and I got nobbled by that within seconds, and I think you did all right in the aftermath.
I did all right, but the same thing got me.
Yeah.
It was the 5 magic blobs that hit me in the face. Oh, for God's sake, go away. Didn't even bow. You're not doing this for fun. You're being a dick. Go away. But yeah, no, it was very shortly after that the glitch happened, the network glitch. So I was like, okay, well the network's a bit iffy, so I'll just toddle on through myself. I'll have a look. I'll keep going into Ulasil because it's interesting. I'll have a look, see what else I can find. I kind of potted on through a bit. Then I realised that because the magic was invisible, I couldn't see those awful magic people who, let's be fair, are already quite an issue.
Yeah.
Also, do you know what? You're not even going to get a visual clue now. No, just you're going to get hit by magic and you're not going to notice it because it's invisible. I was like, could it get any worse than...
I think I heard of some people sort of saying that it doesn't tell you when you're being invaded now.
No, so, you can get invaded and it won't tell you.
Yeah, so I wonder when we're going to get a fix for it.
Horrifying. Hopefully it'll be soon.
And how long Sony are going to wait to do another update, which seemingly does nothing, which they seem to be astonishing at.
Or break something.
I don't know.
But yeah, I pushed on through a bit of Ulasil. I went down along a little sort of low bridge, and I went to a room, and I looked down the stairs at the room, and I could see the heads of about 8 tomato men, as well as a couple of magic ones, and I thought, nah, not with invisible magic. It ain't worth it. So I turned around and I ran, and I managed to run off the side of the small bridge outside. In my haste to get away, I killed myself, and I was slightly upset. I had to go all the way back in, deal with all the invisible magic again, get my bloodstain, and then run out very carefully. And at that point, I thought, I'm going to drop it for it, because I'm not dealing with invisible magic as well.
I think it looks like we might have to wait then until we can crack on a bit after this.
Yeah, I mean, I can either, or I might go try one of the other areas that are kind of lower level and go on my own and go offline, because it sounds like I can do that.
Yeah, there's still stuff that you can do in the meantime. Certainly.
Well, because of this issue, the last thing I did before leaving Dark Souls for a bit is I remembered you talking about the Ember you need to get to plus 15. Down in New Londo Ruins, I believe.
Yeah.
Ghost Town. I thought, okay, I'll have a look in there. I feel fairly tough now. I've beaten Artorias now. I'm pretty strong. I'll have a look.
I know from the tone of your voice you're realising the folly of that thought.
Mistakes have been made. I toddled in and I walked up and I saw the ghost appear. I was like, okay, cool, a ghost. Great. And I kind of swung my sword at the ghost. Nothing happened! Except that the ghost put a scythe up my nose. I was like, okay. Pyromancy? Nope. What else have I got? Bow? Nope. And at that point, I ran away. And I ran and I ran and I ran. And I thought, okay, right, that didn't work. What else have I got? So I started switching out weapons, like Divine. Divine, that might work on a ghost. Divine. Let's try Divine. Swish, nothing. Okay, Occult, let's try that. Swish, nothing. I've got an Enchanted Falchion. Swish, nothing. Which was kind of bummed me out a bit. I was a bit, oh Christ, now what? So I kind of potted around the opening bit before the bridge with the whelps that just sort of sit there. Because
your clue is there.
It is there, yeah. And I found the item. It was a temporary curse.
Yeah.
Transient curse. That's the one. Yeah, I found the item after I'd experimented with different weapons and found them all to be useless. Then I found the item. I was like, okay, allows you to interact with ghosts. I was like, there we go. Put my regular gear back on. Put my thing on. And to be fair, even with glitch mode activated, items disappearing and magic attacks not being visible and stuff, I think I did all right.
Mm-hmm.
I made my way about a few minutes walk in, and I got up onto like second or third level of the area. I couldn't see any items. I saw one flicker in the distance, and I saw it once, and I never saw it again. So I thought, well, I'm gonna miss items. I'm gonna walk past them. Thought I'll give it. I'll check the next room, then I'll give up. And I went in the next room, and then like 9 ghosts. I might be exaggerating slightly, but it felt like a lot of ghosts from every direction were like, hello.
Yeah, they do like to kind of gank you. I think that's one of those where if it's the one that I'm thinking of, there's one that comes at you from the start and you get them. There's one in the distance which I usually take out with a bow, and then the trick is to walk about 4 paces into the room, turn behind you, and try and run down that little pathway again and get back, because there's one already spawning sort of behind you and coming up through the floorboards. And yeah, they come in from the tops of walls.
Their attacks ignore my shield as well. They're just going round it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the shield's taking a slight hit, and my health's taking a massive hit every time. It's like they're getting around, like a scythe almost, like it's getting around my shield.
Yeah, I mean it's I'm around, well, beyond where they are. That's where you'll find the plus 15 ember.
I reckon I was close. It feels like I'm close, but I thought, nope, I'm not dealing with invisible ghosts. Items that I might not even be able to see.
The worst one with those guys is a little bit further on, where you get to a patch where the moon is casting a spotlight upon the water below.
Yeah.
And the ghosts start rising from the moonlight reflection on the water, and sort of coming up from the water towards you. And you can pick them off with bows if you're quick enough, because they rise from the bottom of the lake, but the differential between being able to lock on them and them getting to you is really, really quick.
Yeah.
So you have to have your wits about you. But after that, you go into kind of a thing that's the equivalent of like a massive scout hut with loads of different sort of floors and stuff. But they'll come from the floor, they'll come from the ceiling, they'll come from the walls, they'll get you in the corridors in between. There's one waiting out on the ledge just behind a point where you'll pick up an item. So you walk through like a little tiny door. The first thing you'll see is an item, I think, to your right, but to your left, on the other side of the door, is one of those ghosts. It's like, what?
That's harsh.
Yeah.
Oh.
But there's a lot of them in there.
Yeah.
So you massively have to keep your wits about you.
Super. So I'm going to try that again later, when I might turn the internet off and have another go at that. So I reckon it's beatable.
It's definitely beatable.
I walked into a trap.
You need patience and paranoia to get through that in equal measure.
Well, I've got plenty.
But once you're beyond that second enclosure that I was saying, you're pretty much all clear at that point.
Oh, tasty. Now, before we finish up, we have forgotten a thing that happened.
Have we?
We have forgotten an amazing thing that happened in the very first part of Ulasil.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Yes, right. So, okay, so I'd beaten the early part of Ulasil at this point. I'd beaten the Sanctuary Garden, and CJ hadn't with that current character. It's like, okay, we'll take out the Sanctuary Guardian. I'll give you a hand, because I've beaten him now, and I've done a bit more. I said, I'll come in and give you a hand. So we kind of went to the hollow bit before you find the Guardian, the very first start point. And I thought, okay, before I tag in, I'm going to surprise him, because he'll be expecting this kind of silver-clad Ginger Burke coming through the thing. How silly can I look? And I looked through my inventory, and I found, that Lady Dusk of Ulasil. So I put on that outfit. And then drop my sign. And then, you hit the sign, and you're like, that's you. That's you. Is that you? Because I dressed up like a lady.
But then I had to also dress up like a lady, and we defeated the Sanctuary Guardian dressed as ladies.
Going around dressed as a lady. And I forgot that when you get summoned in, the person who summons you can see your thing.
Uh-huh.
Because the plan was, I wanted you to hit my summon sign, turn up in your world, and just come into the world with, I am Dusk of Unasil, and I have come to assist you. But yeah, fighting the Sanctuary Garden dressed as ladies was easier than when we were like dressed as knights.
It was delicious.
It was easy as well. Like because I got summoned into a random guy's game before it happened, dressed as a lady. This giant knight, and he summoned in me in drag. I was like, okay, awesome. And this time, the Guardian just ran towards the door, and we just kept him in the corner and just battered him. He didn't even get a look in.
Yeah.
And we did the same strategy, didn't we, with the two of us? We just let him come to us, and I think we battered him really quick.
Although there is that thing where there's two Sanctuary Guardians afterwards, and you see one of them in the distance and try to twat one, and then the other one literally sticks its face over the hole like a hello,
lightning. Yeah, I've met the two as well. A little bit of Wii came out.
That wasn't the moment. I'd completely forgotten about the double lady attack that we did, but that wasn't the moment that I thought you were going to reference.
Okay, which one are we talking about?
The moment I thought you were going to reference is when I think you summoned me into your game, and me, the person that's really experienced at Dark Souls, we ran across that bridge, and I turned to the right, and I was aware instantly that I was falling off the side of the level, and at that point I tried to turn to the left and was doing the equivalent of on the old Resident Evil games where you ran against a wall, just sort of like running on the spot, and then I kind of shuddered and fell off.
Is that you berated me for doing the same thing not half an hour earlier?
I did.
I turned right and not turned right hard enough, then just walked off the edge. And I was running behind you, and I saw you do it.
I heard you laugh before it actually fallen. I knew what was going to happen. I was still trying to correct it with my on-the-spot Resident Evil run.
It was glorious.
You'd already dismissed me at that point, and you had your verbal, laughing, cackling revenge.
It was nice to see that it wasn't just me that could do it. You know, it's nice to say, like, oh yeah, you're big experienced Dark Souls fan. Oh, nope, you've got to walk on the floor. Who would have thought it? This isn't the Crystal Caves. There are no invisible platforms here. That was great. And the fact that I saw you do it made it better. But yeah, the Ulaseel's fun. If only for the sheer amount of stupid that's already happened in there.
Salutimo. So yeah, hopefully...
While dressed as a lady.
Yeah, so it's either falling off or dressed as a lady.
So the next plan then is I'm probably gonna have a pop at, maybe I'll keep going at the ghost bit. I might go down to the demon ruins. I'm not sure.
I'd probably say that the ghost is a good way to do it, but
then I can start getting plus 15, which will be nice.
Yeah.
I've got the gear for it now. Oh, and an interesting fact I learned when I just tooled about the giant guys in Anor Londo. Outside of the boss room of Fatty and Skinny, they drop Titanite chunks.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So I was just going to go see the giant blacksmith, and I thought I poisoned one out, and I waited, and he dropped an item, and I ran up a chunk. A chunk? I've only had 2 chunks at this point.
The game does like to reveal delicious secrets.
Yeah, hidden within chunks. But yeah, I was very happy because now I can start getting my Hat of Pimp up a little bit more, which is the worst thing to be spending items on, but I just love it. It's so stupid. But yeah, no, that's the thing. I will go to the Demon Ruins next. Not the Ghost place. I will go to Ghost Town, New Londo Ruins, Town of Ghosts. And that is what I shall try and beat by next time. And hopefully I will beat it.
Well, hopefully then PSN will get its poop together and we can get sorted.
Get sorted, son. Have a little run around together. Oh, and I might have another look at Ulasil as well.
Don't say it like that.
Ulasil.
Right then, chap. We'll keep fingers crossed for PSN sort of coming back up. And
yeah, definitely. And as soon as that's fixed, I will see you in Lordran or Olaseal.
Indeed, we will kick bum cake and dress as ladies once more.
Lady win. We did way better dressed as ladies. I think there's something in that.
Yeah. The level up Dusk's outfit.
What are you wearing? +10 lady gear.
Yeah. Team Ladytron.
I cannot wait. As always, this has been the Polynauts Soulcast, episode 11. I think the tagline could be dressed as ladies.
Dressed as ladies, it has to be, yeah.
Dressed as ladies. If you're listening on the YouTube, drop us a comment on the YouTube. We'll try and talk to you again. You're nice people. 6 Tricks the 9 again. We like you. If you are on Polygon forums, talk in the comments about have you dressed as a lady? Would you consider dressing as a lady? Maybe a lady run.
Yeah, let's face it. There's, I think, possibly the key to our success was the wonderful draft around our balls.
It was all about.
Allows for that.
It's the free balling. I think free balling frees the mind.
There's clearly no draft in the likes of Artorias' outfit, especially because there's the tightness of those ankles. That might be what he's griping about when he's doing the charging up. He's like, my balls are sweating. Sweaty balls.
That's why his left arm's so ruined.
Yeah.
Went there. Yeah. Give us a chat. We'll try and respond to you and say hello and talk. And share us on the Twitter if you like what you've heard and other things. Thumbs ups. I don't know what forums and places this will be on, but do the things that mean you like it if you like it.
Yes, please.
That's what that means. Yes. I was Paddy. He was CJ.
I still am. But
still am.
This is the end of this soiree for the time being.
Yes, we were dressed as ladies. And we'll see you next time. Bye.